It is not just the price of eggs soaring right now. Economists say the price of butter is also up, and data also shows the price of margarine up nearly 44% in just a year.
The butter you're spreading on your toast right now might be slowly poisoning your family. While you think you're buying a simple, natural product, 7 major brands are hiding something disturbing in their ingredients. But here's what's really shocking. The 2 healthier alternatives will completely surprise you. Let's start with the worst offender of them all: Imperial butter. And here's the kicker. It's not even butter. This stuff is basically margarine wearing a butter costume to a dairy party. Imperial fooled an entire generation of Americans with sneaky packaging. Your grandmother probably bought it thinking she was getting the real deal. Nope. It's made almost entirely from vegetable oils. About as much butter as a plastic spoon. And speaking of plastic, Imperial has this weird superpower. It keeps the same shape whether it's sitting in Death Valley heat or an Alaskan freezer. Real butter melts if you look at it funny on a summer day. Imperial just sits there, staring back at you like a waxy yellow brick. The taste? Calling it flavorless would be generous. Most people describe it as eating solidified nothing. One reviewer said it tastes like disappointment with a side of regret. Harsh, but fair. But wait. There's more bad news. Margarine spreads like Imperial often contain trans fats. These sneaky little troublemakers have been linked to heart problems, especially for older folks. Your ticker doesn't need that kind of drama. And the really cheeky part? Imperial prints cookie recipes right on the package. They're basically saying, hey, use our fake butter to make real cookies. That's like putting racing stripes on a golf cart and calling it a sports car. Trust me, your taste buds deserve better than this imposter. But Imperial isn't the only pretender trying to fool you. Now, Country Crock. This one has been busy collecting lawsuits, like my neighbor collects garden gnomes. And trust me, that's saying something. Here's the kicker. A lot of Country Crock butter products are basically a cocktail of cheap oils. Palm oil, canola oil, and get this, they toss in a tiny splash of olive oil and then act like they're health heroes. It's like putting one raisin in a chocolate chip cookie and calling it a fruit salad. But the real drama started heating up in 2022. Multiple lawsuits slammed Country Crock harder than a screen door in a hurricane. Why? Because their packaging kept nudging people into thinking they were buying real butter or premium olive oil spreads. Sneaky, right? That controversy put them under the spotlight for what experts described as blurring the line between actual dairy butter and plant-based wannabes. And it makes you wonder what else they're blurring. Here's something that'll make your head spin. Country Crock doesn't even meet FDA standards for what can legally be called butter. Yet somehow, it still ends up sitting in the butter aisle, right next to the real stuff. And the taste? Critics call it awful and way too soft. Longtime customers are jumping ship faster than rats on the Titanic. One reviewer said spreading it felt like trying to butter toast with mayonnaise. Even the National Milk Producers Federation didn't mince words. They labeled Country Crock's imitation butter products an egregious slap in the face to real butter lovers. But wait until you hear about our next troublemaker. You know what's funny about I can't believe it's not butter? Well, after one bite, you absolutely can believe it's not butter. And that's the problem. This stuff fooled millions with a catchy name and loud advertising. But here's what they don't mention in those commercials. It's just margarine dressed up in brighter packaging. The base is cheap vegetable oils that taste about as buttery as cardboard. And here's where it gets embarrassing for the brand. Blind taste tests consistently rank this spread well, below average for flavor. We're talking dead last in a lot of comparisons. One food critic described it as what butter might taste like if butter had given up on life. And the texture is a whole other nightmare. Ever tried spreading cold peanut butter on fresh bread? That's the kind of fight you're getting into here. It's thin, watery, and it tears your toast apart faster than you can say breakfast disaster. For older folks dealing with arthritis, this stuff can be brutal to work with. And there's more bad news. The aftertaste lingers like an unwanted house guest. Users describe it as chemical and unpleasant, which is not what you want coating your morning English muffin. The real kicker is that this product became famous by claiming it tastes like butter. Yet anyone who grew up eating real dairy butter can spot the difference from across the kitchen. It's like comparing a kazoo to a symphony orchestra. Earth Balance loves to dress itself up as the healthy choice for butter lovers. You know the one, with the green leaves all over the package. But here's the kicker. It's basically palm oil and soybean oil wearing a health halo. It's like putting a toupee on a bowling ball and calling it glamorous. Check the nutrition facts. About 100 calories and 11 grams of fat per serving. Sound familiar? That's because it's practically identical to real butter. So much for the health advantage. Then there's the texture nightmare. Ever tried spreading concrete on toast? Earth Balance comes pretty close. It's harder than my grandfather's hearing, turning breakfast into a workout nobody asked for. But the real comedy show starts with the taste. After some recipe changes, customers started describing it as moldy oil and nauseating. Yikes. One reviewer said it tasted like someone mixed vegetable oil with disappointment. The weird part is how they market it. All those buzzwords about plant-based goodness, but your taste buds aren't buying what they're selling. Even professional bakers avoid it because it refuses to cooperate with basic spreading and simple baking. It's like Earth Balance took everything people dislike about fake butter and cranked it up to 11. The hard texture rips bread. The taste makes you question your life choices. And the price? You're paying premium money for premium frustration. Speaking of disappointing premium products, wait until you hear about our next butter disaster. Now let's talk about Land O'Lakes. You know, the butter with that iconic Native American maiden on the package. Well, they removed her in 2020, but kept the land. Makes you wonder what they're really selling these days. Here's the thing about Land O'Lakes. It's everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Your grocery store, your neighbor's fridge, probably your own kitchen right now. But being popular doesn't mean you're good at your job. Just ask any politician. The taste? If you like your butter to taste like not much of anything, you'll love Land O'Lakes. Food critics regularly describe it as subtle and bland. That's fancy talk for boring as watching paint dry on a rainy Tuesday. Sure, it spreads okay. It melts fine. But where's the flavor? Where's that rich, creamy taste that makes you close your eyes for a second and smile? Land O'Lakes delivers consistency, but it's consistently mediocre. And the unsalted version is especially disappointing. It's smooth enough, but it has all the personality of lukewarm water. For those of us who remember when butter actually tasted like something special, Land O'Lakes feels like settling for a black and white TV when everyone else has color. And at $6 to $8 per pound, you're paying average prices for below-average flavor. The company is a massive cooperative, which explains the wide distribution. But mass production often means mass compromise. And wait until you hear about the next butter disaster. One that leaves a taste in your mouth you'll wish you could forget. Now let's talk about Olivio. You know, the one with those fancy olive branch pictures all over the package. Don't let Mediterranean marketing fool you. Here's what they don't want you to know. Olivio is mostly cheap palm and canola oils, with barely enough olive oil to justify putting an olive on the label. It's like calling yourself a marathon runner because you walked to the mailbox once. But the real problem starts when you actually try to use this stuff. Ever tried spreading cold concrete on your morning toast? That's basically the Olivio experience. The texture is so hard it'll rip through your bread faster than a politician changes positions during election season. And the weird part is the aftertaste. It's genuinely unpleasant. Taste panels consistently complain about a lingering, off-putting flavor that makes you wonder what exactly you just ate. Real butter doesn't leave you questioning your life choices. Then there's the health angle they love to push. Sure, they market it like some lifestyle upgrade, but look at the label. The fat and calorie counts are pretty much identical to regular butter. So you're getting all the calories with none of the satisfaction. For older folks who remember when butter actually tasted like something, Olivio is especially disappointing. You expect that familiar creamy richness, but instead you get processed oils pretending to be the real deal. Makes you wonder what butter brands are actually worth buying, doesn't it? Vermont Creamery has built quite a reputation for its cheeses. Their butter, though? That's a different story entirely. You'd expect cultured butter from a fancy Vermont dairy to taste like heaven, right? Wrong. Taste testers consistently describe this butter as having all the flavor of a refrigerator. One editor put it bluntly, "It tastes like vegetable shortening had a bad day." Here's the thing about cultured butter. It's supposed to have this tangy, rich flavor that makes your taste buds do a little happy dance. Vermont Creamery's version feels more like a confused shuffle. The culturing process should create depth and character, but somehow they managed to make it taste not special. And here's the kicker: you're paying premium prices for that disappointment. We're talking above average cost for butter that leaves you wondering if your taste buds took a vacation. It's like ordering a fine wine and getting grape juice with an attitude problem. Multiple food editors have called it a letdown, which is putting it nicely. When you're expecting that creamy, tangy goodness that makes simple buttered toast feel gourmet, Vermont Creamery falls flatter than a pancake on Sunday morning. The strangest part? Their cheese department knows what they're doing, but somehow that expertise didn't make the short trip over to the butter side of the operation. Makes you wonder if they're using completely different recipe books. But don't worry, two butter brands actually deliver on their promises. And real quick, if you like these kinds of what to avoid breakdowns that help you protect your wallet and your health, make sure you subscribe to Frugal Finds for You, because we cover the stuff the labels don't want you to notice. Finally, after sitting through 7 butter disasters, let me introduce you to something that will actually make your taste buds dance the jig. Kerrygold Pure Irish Butter isn't just good. It's the kind of butter that makes you wonder why you've been settling for cardboard spreads all these years. Here's what makes this golden beauty special. Those Irish cows spend their days munching on grass instead of processed feed. Sounds simple, right? But that grass-fed diet creates butter with a rich, creamy flavor that's deeper than your neighbor's gossip and twice as satisfying. The color alone tells the story. While many American butters look pale as a January morning, Kerrygold shows up with a gorgeous golden hue that practically screams quality. And when you spread it, it's smooth as silk, even straight from the fridge. But here's the kicker: it can actually be better for you too. Grass-fed butter tends to have more omega-3 fatty acids. Your heart will thank you, and your doctor might even crack a smile at your next checkup. Taste tests consistently rank Kerrygold at the top. Professional bakers swear by it. Home cooks guard it like family secrets. The stuff is so good, even the Irish are proud to export it. And trust me, they don't give away the good stuff easily. No artificial preservatives, no weird additives. Just real Irish craftsmanship wrapped in foil. But before you rush to the store, there's one more butter that deserves your attention. Now here's the second butter that actually lives up to the hype. Plus Gras European-style butter. Plus Gras contains about 82% butterfat compared to the typical 80% you'll find in many American brands. That extra 2% might sound small, but it makes a difference you can taste. It's like the difference between a Cadillac and a golf cart. Your taste buds will know immediately. That higher fat content creates what bakers call the secret advantage. Cookies stay tender longer. Pastries come out flakier. Even basic buttered toast tastes like it came from a fancy French cafe instead of your kitchen counter. But here's what really separates Plus Gras from the disappointments we just talked about. The texture spreads like a dream, even straight from the fridge. No more wrestling with rock-hard butter that tears your morning English muffin into pieces. Professional chefs swear by this stuff, and they're not using it just to show off. They know exactly what quality does for flavor. When your reputation depends on taste, you don't gamble on margarine pretending to be butter. And the best part? Plus Gras doesn't come with growth hormones or weird artificial additives that sneak into cheaper options. It's pure, simple, and made the way butter should be made. You used to have to hunt down specialty stores to find European-style butter. Not anymore. Most supermarkets carry Plus Gras right alongside the regular brands. Sure, it costs a bit more than Land O'Lakes or those bland options. But when you're talking about something you eat almost every single day, why settle for mediocre when excellence is sitting right there on the shelf? And if this video helped you even a little bit, do me a favor and subscribe to Frugal Finds for You. It's free, and it helps me keep bringing you the kind of shopping truth that actually saves you money